All right, welcome to the. I can't. I'm not sure what the right word is because this is the start of the new season, but it's also not. That is to say, this is our first review session, but it's not the first episode of the new season. So it's
I
a
mean,
bit
it's
of
your decision that we do it that way.
Well, I'm just. It's more the terminology than anything else. But then again, who cares all that much? So, welcome to the start of the new season. Season 22. No real changes to announce or anything shifting from season to season here. What you experienced in, other recent seasons is what you get this season. So with that in mind, let us proceed with the reviews as they are. 4 of them up this week, the first of which is Traxion. Traxion is a space-themed cave flyer featuring beautiful pixel art, great music, and tons of meticulously crafted physics puzzles. Gotta admit, at first, that's a bit of a weird framing for a game like this. Because, you see this, and what do you think it was going to be? You'd think they'd call it a shoot-'em-up, shmup, something like that, right?
Well, I'm watching the gameplay and seeing a distinctive lack of shooting, so...
You can shoot.
Well, you can shoot, and you will need to shoot, some things, but shooting isn't all that important to the grand process here. Which is, get the orb, get out, at its most basic level. Obviously, that is going to be complicated by numerous obstacles, but really, the key word here is physics puzzle. Because
with the game,
It's just one level and it closes for the demo.
oh, okay.
you would hope that there would be more, because there's actually a surprising amount of games here. I'm not exactly sure how many levels, but a lot more than I was expecting. That being said, the key here is the physics, because guess what? This has Newtonian physics of a certain approximation. It's
And it looks like you're doing asteroid moving.
Yes. You got to deal with, you got thrust, inertia, realistic gravity, concerns like that. And thus, that's going to play into, the movement and how you get around. And that also applies to the orb. Because when you grab the orb, you will be weighed down. Not a big problem at first, but once you get into the second world, that's when it became part of the core gameplay. Badly. Mainly because they set that up against a spike wall. And I think the idea was to put the orb on the spikes and have it carry up there, but, because I'm dealing with realistic physics here, everything's a lot more fiddly and finicky. It's why I don't really like playing these kind of games. Not bad, it's just this kind of gameplay style never been my bag. And this is further complicated by the resource
space tractor beam game with freaking actual physics on the thing you're tractoring, that could be rough.
It can be, yes. But the big concern with this isn't time. You don't have to worry about time. It's fuel. You only have a certain amount of fuel to do your tasks. Now, there are refueling stations. I think that's come up here in gameplay.
Yeah, like there is a refueling station just here.
Yeah.
Right here.
But yeah. But there's only a certain amount of fuel in these canisters. Yeah. And yeah, this is also one of those games where touching is deadly. Touching the walls, but you don't have a health bar. Your health is tied to your fuel. If you get hit, that will drain your fuel. So clearly, if you get hit, that will make doing your tasks harder. I suppose proximity to one of the refueling stations is paramount. And you will, there are a number of power-ups and also score tokens, for lack of a better word there. You come across some tokens here that'll give you, I think it was 1,000 points. Gotta admit, not exactly sure what the point of the score was.
There's not like a leaderboard thing, or is it just points for points' sake?
I forget if there was a leaderboard, but it'd be local only, because on the Steam page it doesn't say leaderboards. So
And
stuff
the concept of taking a Polaroid of your screen and mailing it into the local gaming magazine has been dead for 30 years?
Yeah, something like that. Few eccentrics not precluded here. Anyway, there's also some actual power-ups. Like there's a triple cannon. Like you get it, you'll be able to fire 3 shots instead of 1. There's also the blue jet, which allows you to move faster and move better. Yes, you will be able to move, being able to move good is a power up in this game. I think that says about all it needs to. In that, where I stand with this game, it's proficient, competent. Really reminds me of something I would find on a shareware disc, or something of that nature in the 90s. Or this would be an extra game if I bought something from id Software.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit more advanced than what would be, say, in a magazine back in the day, where you just punch in the code. But definitely something you would see on a shareware disc.
Yeah. The point is, this game reminds me so much of early 90s PC gaming. Make of that what you will. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if that was ever the intention or not. It's just, this kind of game, this kind of art style, it just takes me back to 1992.
Yeah, there's still definitely an audience for this. It's not. It's probably not as much general appeal as more modern games, but there's definitely an audience for this.
Well, it's not very flashy, is it? It looks all right. The art is good, but it's not. It's not like a actual shmup. where it can be flashy and all, oh, look at all the bullet hell we can put you through.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that kind of game. Like I said, but it's okay. Especially at its present price, which is a mere $3. So we're in what I like to call the cup of coffee zone. Because, seriously, this game is barely more expensive than an extra large cup of coffee at the local convenience store / gas station.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a demo, as you saw, just the one level. I was hoping that was going to be like 5 levels or something like that,
yeah.
but whatever. You can still try before you buy, though. It's just very weird that a game this cheap has a demo.
Yeah,
It's not
I can see that.
Like, all the credit in the world to them, but it's still not a thing we usually see when we get a game that's costing like
generally under the $5 price under the $5 price tag doesn't always need a demo.
Yeah. But it's like for $3, it's a very easy recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't got anything else here. But this, other than this, isn't the last time we'll be dealing with Traxion this season.
Subtle foreshadowing.
Well, no, this is explicitly telling the audience that there will be another Traxion review this season. It's like Traxion 3000.
Well, apparently there's also a Traxion 2 according to the Steam or the Twitch categories.
We didn't get that one. We did get Traxion 3000 and Traxion 1. Look, I don't know why these companies do the thing they do. Sometimes
the world may never know.
They only had the first game and the third game up. The second one there. So whatever. The point is, Traxion 1 is a perfectly cromulent game. And with that, I think that'll about do it here. Be sure to tune in after the break as the Golics will be reviewing Fantasy Commander: Fascination of Evil. I guess a bit of a preface before we fade out here for the break. We've switched the order around a bit this week because Petty's game has some questionable content that he felt would be best displayed at the end. So people who might be sensitive to animal cruelty can shuffle out if they so feel. I mean, it's cartoon simulated animal cruelty, but it's still there. So more on that later. But until sorry. God, I got my wires crossed there. Apologies. Yeah, that'll about do it for this game. And over to the next one.